Hello and welcome to Spotlight. I'm Gauri Dwivedi. Now, Lipstick Under My Burkha, a feminist drama that started a war of thoughts, freedom and will within the country, has won its battle against the patriarchal thoughts and social stereotypes. The film, which finally got a certificate, is set to walk free to create ripple effects at the box office on the 2nd of July. The makers, of course, shared the news with a brave and provocative poster which shows off a middle finger to, of course, all those who were hampering its release, clearly sending out a message to the Censor Board, which had objected to the film on flimsy grounds. CBFC Chief Pahlaj Nihalani, in fact, denied certification, claiming that the movie was lady-oriented and portrayed women's sexual preferences. Despite objection at home, the film, of course, has gone ahead and won accolades overseas and is, in fact, eligible to be in the Golden Globes next year. We asked the question as to whether or not it is fair for the film to be banned in India even as it continues to win accolades globally. And also, is it time for the Censor Board to be completely revamped or maybe even disbanded? Now, before we take this story, let's in fact get some... and as of course we take this story forward, we have Alankrita Srivastav, Director of Lipstick Under My Burkha, joining us on this show. And we also have Uday Pratap Singh, who tracks Bollywood very closely for us, joining us on the show as well. Alankrita, let me come to you first. You obviously were looking to send out a very strong message with that provocative poster. What exactly were you looking to say and convey to all those who, of course, stalled the release since last year?
Well, I don't think the poster is just, it's about a message to all those who try to stall the release of the film. I think it's a much larger message. It's really about defying patriarchy, and it's a message that women will continue to do what they want to do. They will continue to tell their stories. They will continue to dream. They will continue to fantasize. They will continue to have agency and fight for agency over their own bodies, their own lives. And nobody can stop us. And yeah, so I think it's about conveying a spirit of rebellion against patriarchy, but also with the flourish of a lipstick, and not you know, so it's like subverting certain things and rebelling in ways that are unique to us and not being necessarily defined by very male paradigms. Also, because I think the reason we also came out with this poster, which has been designed by the marketing team at Alt Entertainment. The reason we came out with this is also because I think the film is no longer just the film. I think it's taken on a much larger context, because it really represents the fact that there was an attempt to silence the voices of women. And the truth is, you cannot silence 50% of the population.
Right. Uday, there are several connotations to this story. You know, gender equality, freedom of expression. You know, and also, of course, the role of Censor Board. All that come into play. You know, going forward, do you think it's time maybe to revisit the role of Censor Board? You know, after all, if you look at American and British movie associations, they don't have a government agency telling their viewers what is it that they should watch. They, in fact, self-govern.
Absolutely, and you know, this is something that the film industry, Gauri, has been crying hoarse about, because film after film are meeting the ire of the censor, and there's no one strict guideline. You know, it's literally according to the whims and fancies of Pahlaj Nihalani. On one particular day, he wants to snip the James Bond kissing scenes, but he'll allow them in Befikre. He wants to not allow Lipstick Under My Burkha to release at all. You know, refuse the certificate, but he'll allow a Masti Zade or a Kya Super Cool Hai Hum. So many people are wondering as to what really are the guidelines that the Censor Board is operating under. The Sham Benegal Committee has submitted their recommendations to the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. So, of course, the need of the hour is to implement them as soon as possible. Venkaiah Naidu has assured that, but the film industry wants that done ASAP. I spoke with a couple of actors today. Urvashi Dholakia felt it should be left to the audience. Everyone has their own opinion. Why not let the audience have the final take? And Madhurima also, Madhurima Tulli, another well-known actor who I spoke to, also says that at the end of the day, this is a real-life story about 4 women who signify a big population. And if it can be screened the world over, as Alankrita would agree, why not India, the original audience it was meant for?
Alankrita, you know, one final word. you know, as far as this movie is concerned, you mentioned it's about gender equality, it's about freedom of expression. Did at any point of time, did you reach out to CBFC, the Censor Board, explain to them exactly what Uday is saying, that when you have a Befikre, you know, going ahead, when you have a Masti Zade going ahead with no cuts, when you have even Kya Kool Hai Hum 3 going ahead with very questionable content and questionable dialogues, what is the problem with Lipstick Under My Burkha?
Well, if the CBFC was a sort of logical board with whom you could have a proper conversation where they gave some sort of respect to a filmmaker, where they sat across the table and had a conversation with you, perhaps you would have had many conversations that could have led to some sort of resolutions. But the truth of the matter is that the CBFC, at least my encounter with the CBFC was such that I pretty much felt like a criminal when I entered the room after the screening with the revising committee, and they never really left me any space for dialogue. They've told me very clearly and that there's a unanimous decision that they will not be certifying the film. So they closed all doors to any kind of...
Unfortunately, we've completely run out of time, but this, of course, is an issue that we'll come back to closer to the release date of Lipstick Under My Burkha. But on